need something a little extra. What do you got? He says, well, I know something, but I really don't know where to give it to you. Now, so he just hands me this paper and says, be careful, and I'll talk to you later, and just left. And I'm like, what was that all about? So I didn't think nothing of it. So I got, directions where to go, and I knew the area. It was in Rhode Island, up near Harrisville, like a little country, like a little backwoods town area, country area in northern Rhode Island. So I go there. I figure, I'll go around 11:30, midnight in this place in the woods. It's some kind of hot spot or something in the woods. It's like I don't know what's going on. So I'm, curiosity's got me, really got me going. So I get there, and I'm on this little dirt road. There was like a dam there. There was a river. So I used to fish in there, and so I park. I get out, and I way off in the distance, I can hear sounds like people. And I thought that's kind of weird, like out in the woods, but I didn't think nothing of it. And I'm backwoods, so I'm very quiet. I'm taking my time, and it's probably 20 to midnight or close to midnight, quarter till, something like that. And as I'm going up this hill, up a knoll again, like towards the top, and I could see when somebody's got a fire, there's like you can't see the fire because you're like going up a hill, but just over the other knoll, you can see the light from it. You know what I mean? Like flashing, like high and low. It's like a fire.
Right.
I know there's something going on over there, and I can't quite make out the voices because it's just on the other side of the knoll, but I can hear it, and I can't make it out. But it just sounds like a bunch of people chattering. So I'm thinking, what is going on over here? So I'm keep going. So then I'm getting closer. So I thought I better get down in my little stealth mode like I do. I'm down crawling like I'm in battle or something. It's crazy, but. So I'm crawling up, and there's this log laying on the ground, and I'm kind of crawled up to it, and I'm really low on the ground, and I'm really starting to hear it. I'm probably 60 yards away, maybe 50, 70 yards, somewhere in that ballpark. And I can hear the noise even better, the people, but I still can't make out what they're saying. And I can see there's definitely a fire there. So I very slowly raise my head up, very slowly get my eye up over that log, and there... I'm telling you, there they are. I believe I counted 13 of them. They were all in robes, and they're all dancing around this bonfire. And they got this goat chained to this tree, and the one's got a big old dagger, and they're just chanting away. And I'm like, oh, my freaking God.
Barbecue! No, that's not right.
I'm thinking, wait a minute. I need to back out of here real slowly, real quietly, because I do not want to be rude and disturb these people's barbecue at midnight on Halloween.
Yeah.
So, I'm like, what did I get into again by myself? So please don't go anywhere by yourself. So I'm telling you, listen, I'm telling you, they were up to some shady stuff. I wasn't going to be rude. I respect whatever they do. I just know that it might have went south if they'd have seen me or heard me, so I was going to back out of there. Oh, God, thank you, Jesus, for letting me get out of there. So I turn around, I back out of there real slowly, got out of there, no problem. I got into my truck and left.
James.
And I told him, I said, what the freak did you send me to? He says, well, my cousin, she's married to somebody, and they're into witchcraft and stuff, and they like to go out there. I didn't know if it was true or not. She used to talk about it, and, there's people into witchcraft out there for years, hundreds of years, they're still doing that stuff. And I'm going to tell you something. I guess that's what they were doing, or maybe they were just having a barbecue, but I'm telling you, I didn't stick around to find out. I turned around and left, and then the kicker is I didn't put none of this together, and you fast forward to up to about 3 or 4 years ago when the Conjuring movie come out, and that's where it was on that same area, probably within half mile of the area where the Perrons and the Conjuring started. All that witchcraft there on the land and stuff. It was like them people. There's two people still out there practicing that, and the ironic thing is, on top of that, there was somebody that was in a satanic cult at the same ballpark area, same time frame, that was getting prostitutes, and they were sacrificing them and killing them out there. They got them a couple years later, but that was a lot of crazy stuff going on out in the woods of Massachusetts and Rhode Island at one time there in the 80s and into the 90s. And people didn't know it at the time, but there was a lot of listen, there's not wild animals out there. There's a lot of crazy people doing crazy things.
Oh, yeah.
And I just happened to, I stumbled upon, let me tell you something. I puckered up and backed out of there real quick, buddy. Let me tell you.
Well, you might not have had a heart if you stayed around, I'll tell you that.
Oh, my goodness. You know what? And the weird part was, about 6 months ago, I'm sitting here at home, and I'm watching this old horror movie from the 70s. It's got Peter Fonda, and I think Dennis Hopper or somebody in it, and they're in an RV, and they're going camping. They're going camping for the weekend in the RV, up in Northern California and stuff. And they're out camping, and what happens? The same kind of scenario. They run into the satanic cult, and they snuck up on them. The only problem is they seen them when they snuck up on them, and then all hell broke loose. So they tried to get them the next few days, But it was like deja vu. Only I didn't get caught.
Well, you lucked out. Either you would have been, if your friends say you were heartless in the past, you might have been really heartless from then on. Or you could have been invited to the barbecue as the dinner.
I got to tell you, after that, I told my buddy, I said, look, if you got any more, you think something's going on, or please give me some insight. Just don't hand me a note and say you got to go.
Well,
leave me hanging. Who does that?
Well, when I first got into broadcasting, after I got out of broadcast training school, I got hired up in Battleground, Washington. That's up just before Portland, not too far away. And up by Vancouver, Washington, actually. And I get there, right? And, I rented an apartment, got all set up. I go into the radio station, and the owner comes out, and he goes, I'm sorry. I used to go by Rick Stevens when I was in broadcasting. And he said, hey, Rick, I'm really sorry. We're not going to be doing Top 40 anymore. We're going into talk radio. And I'm going, oh, my God, I just borrowed all this money from my mom and dad, right?
What a culture shock that was, yeah.
Yeah, and brought a girlfriend with me, which I didn't even like. And here, but I won't go into that story. But anyway, she left right after I started broadcasting because I was not a top DJ. I'm, playing, like the Bee Gees and all that stuff. The guy goes, well, you got your choice. You can go back home to Seattle, or you can we're gone to talk radio. And he goes, well, are you good on politics, world events? And I'm going, I don't even know who the president is. I mean, hey, what can I say? I'm saying that to myself. And he goes, well, what do you want to talk about? And I started thinking, well, maybe I started thinking about my first wife. She was into witchcraft and Ouija boards. So I kind of said, and paranormal wasn't a big thing back in 1976. I said, well, why don't we talk about, paranormal? And the guy goes, well, we'll give it a try. And I started doing paranormal. But you know what I found out is when I started my broadcast show, after doing it for a week or two, people started telling me there was a major cult in Cowlitz County that they were trying to, catch them. And because, again, prostitutes, girls, people, hitchhikers.
Runaways or whatever.
Yeah, they were disappearing, right? Well, it took a couple years, I guess, but they finally broke it up. They were actually taking prostitutes, hitchhikers, whatever, right? And instead of sacrificing goats, they were, sacrificing, human beings. So, I mean, you got to be careful, where you go.
Lord,
I would never hitchhike, I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm. And that was in the 70s. And they were doing it in the 80s on the East Coast, and God knows what's going on out in them woods. I know people think, oh, you're exaggerating or whatever, but I'm telling you firsthand, man, what I've seen, I wouldn't want to see that. I wouldn't want somebody to see it. If I wasn't a skilled woodsman and know a lot of things, I could have been discovered, and I'm going to tell you that it's been a hell of a foot race, me and 13 people and a goat and a knife chasing me. I mean,
you don't know if any of those could have been packing,
I can
too.
laugh about it now, but I'm going to tell you, I wasn't very happy about it, and then I was it made me reevaluate going in the woods at night at midnight on Halloween by myself.
Well, those type of witches or whatever they were, okay, that cult, when they get into sacrificing animals and stuff like that, that is not the white magic or that is the type. If they would have saw you, right, they didn't want to be discovered. So if they would have caught you, you would have never got back to your vehicle. I'll tell you that much.
Exactly. And here's the thing. I have helped a lot of people with paranormal problems, and I'm going to tell you something. When people use a blood sacrifice, good Lord, that is some strong... That's hard to overcome, that kind of stuff. It's very evil. It's very dark. It's very black. When you use a blood sacrifice for rituals for something, that is... I dread hearing trying to help somebody with that because it's so hard. It's like... it grows hard roots. It's hard to overcome that kind of stuff.
Well, those people have attachments to them too. Those entities are not the friendly ones. I'll tell you that. They're the demons out there.
No, listen, they just feed the evil and negative emotions and all that. Just keeps. It's like a vicious circle. It keeps feeding on each other. It's a never hunger fulfilling evil entity within itself. It's just a big vicious circle keeps, so it can't stop. It can't stop itself. The cycle can't be broken unless you get somebody in there that tries to break that cycle, and that's a hard thing to do if they're doing blood rituals, and you're continually doing it, and they're getting good at it, and that's a tough thing.
Well, it's a scary thing. Now, I don't take calls during the week, so I don't know if anybody's going to respond. But if anybody wants to call in, if they have had any strange encounters like with occults or Bigfoot or, spirits that were not the friendly type of spirits, you can call in at 1-253-203-6695. That's 1-253-203-6695. And you can ask James or me a question. I can't guarantee we'll answer. I don't even know, James, if anybody will call. When I don't, what's really funny is when I go off the air, the next morning I turn the computer on. And because of the time difference, like in the UK, I'll have 40 missed phone calls from the UK. People calling
like
in.
5 hours behind us.
Yeah, calling in the show. So, I don't know if Nicole, if you got something you want to say, or Karen out there, Banks has something to say. Again, 1-253-203-6695. Hey, we're just having fun tonight because my original guest tonight backed out of coming on the show. She said she was terrified to be on the radio.
I got, I went to Gettysburg just about, what was it, like 2-3 weeks ago for a week. And I was there with two friends. We stayed a week. We stayed two different places, investigated all over the place and stuff. And the one night, me and my friend Linda Kay Bowman, we was on this road, Hospital Road. It's in the middle of the woods. It's right down the road from the Balladary Inn we was staying at, which is all haunted area. So we're going there, and we're going down this road. It is dark, and there's nothing. And there's like this, I think I might have mentioned it to you before, like this electrical mist, like shapes of soldiers coming across right in front of us across the road. And she stops, and they're like, literally look like soldiers, but in shape of mist going across the road, right? So she goes, go out there and get some VVPs. And I'm like, what?
No way. No way in hell would I do that.
She's like pushing me out the door. Yeah, go out there and get some VVPs. I was like, well, why don't you go? So anyway, I go out there. I'm like in the mist almost trying to get some VVPs. And it was, I don't know, I think it was more of a residual type of thing. But so I'm done. I get back into her vehicle. And she's got one of those cameras, in the center where you can see behind you when you back up and stuff, or when you're in park. It was on. And I'm sitting there, and I just happened to look over on it. I said, oh, Linda, look what is coming up behind us. And she says, oh, hell no. And punched it and threw me in the back seat and took off. I was like, she says, what is going on? Why'd you do that? Didn't you see that? They were like coming right at the car, and she goes, listen, anytime you say calmly, look what's coming behind us, I'm not sticking around. She took off. It was hilarious. But that road, 3 nights in a row, there's no crops, no nothing. It was certain times. It was like it kept repeating. History kept repeating itself. It looked like it was like Shape of Mist, but figures looked like soldiers almost going across the road.
Maybe they were.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of spooky, no doubt. It was different.